Hello, thank you for joining us on CoreTV News Hour. I am Frank Malape. The Independent National Electoral Commission has extended the deadline for collection of permanent voter cards across the country by additional 2 weeks. This is in spite of attaining 80% collection ratio nationwide. The Commission said in a statement issued by the spokesman for the INEC Chairman Caldedo that the PVC collection, which was to end on March 8, will continue till March 22. It, however, noted that this would be the last opportunity for duly registered persons who have yet to collect their PVCs to do so before elections scheduled for March 28 and April 11. And our controversies across party lines have continued to trail the use of the smart card readers for the 2015 general elections. On his part, Lagos State Governor Babátúndé Fáṣọlá says the use of the device during the polls will curb election rigging. Fáṣọlá made his affirmation at a function in Lagos where he berated the People's Democratic Party's opposition to the use of the card readers, wondering why a party that claims to be fighting corruption via technology is running away from the use of same technology to prevent electoral fraud.
On one hand, they promise you technology. On the other hand, they are afraid to use an electronic card reader. Wake up and smell the coffee. Smell the coffee. It's brewing. What kind of promise is that?
As the 2015 impeachment saga in Ebonyi State rumbles on, the state government says the Economic and Financial Crime Commission and management of Fidelity Bank has grounded the state finances, making it difficult for the government to pay workers' salary. According to the State Attorney General Benny Gwenyi, both the FCC and Fidelity Bank are working with some of government's political enemies to paralyze the state. The allegation is contained in a suit filed against the FCC and Fidelity Bank before the Federal High Court, Abuja. Igwenyi, along with the state 13 local governments, filed a suit seeking, among other prayers, the court's declaration that the power of the FCC to freeze its account exercised through Fidelity Bank is unlawful. The plaintiffs are with the suit challenging, among others, the decision by the bank to freeze its joint local government account in the bank, allegedly on the directive by the FCC. The plaintiffs in a sub-party affidavit stated that the basis for freezing the account is politically motivated by political differences. And as the 2015 general elections draws near, the FCT Police Command has embarked on specialized training for its officers and meant to ensure the conduct of free and fair elections in the territory. Federal Capital Territory Commissioner Police Wilson in Alegu, while speaking to newsmen, said the training was organized for the personnel on the command to know their roles and responsibilities during the elections. He added that other security agencies are also involved in the training in the spirit of interagency collaboration. He said apart from the military, whose role will be restricted during the elections, other security agencies that will man the various polling centers will participate in the training. The CP said peace accord has been signed by all the contestants in the FCT. He said the signing of the peace accord was part of efforts to ensure that the March 28 election that will hold within the territories is peaceful. And as the 2015 general elections draw near, rift within the various political parties have continued unabated. The Ogun State chapter of the Labour Party is not left out of the accusation and counter-accusation over money flies about. Our reporter Olajumoke Olatiji presents our findings into the extra-party field.
Lack of internal democracy in Nigeria's political parties has over time become a threat to the country's nascent democracy. Recent party primaries throughout the country clearly show a disturbing trend of failure to adhere strictly with democratic norms and principles. Various political parties have failed to open up their parties to all party members who are eligible and want to run for office in their party primaries. Some candidates have been imposed on the party without election and due process. Some of the candidates allegedly won via a so-called consensus option. The ripple effect of some of these decisions is creating a storm within the Ogun State Labour Party.
I appeal to Labour Party the political party that represents laborers and the common man in the political arena to pay me my wages for have been with Labour Party since January 2007 up till now, and I've never been given a single kobo. In the last gubernatorial election, Asiwaju Awosedo made it known that he gave Simeon Bode and Adegbola my wages, which they pocketed. When asked why, they say they used the money to pay Labour Party's debt. And since then, they abandoned Labour Party's car within my compound. I don't need their car. They should come and collect it. I'm not a driver. I don't know how to drive. All I need is my wages, and they should take away their car.
In his reaction, Sunday Ogini, the secretary of the party, says Kulia Kingbogo is nothing but a liar.
His case is inconsequential. I did not meet him in the party, and we don't want to start to decorate what is not. I'm not part of that arrangement, so the party is not part of that. It is not official. All the arrangement they are doing is unofficial. And if you want to take legal action, you should know the implications.
Yeah, but you should be speaking on behalf.
No, if I'm speaking, I said the party has never been part of that shenanigan. It has been a friendship of years within them. They were living together with Bodesiman, with Adegbola or whatever. It is personal issue.
For his part, a Lagos lawyer, Monday Obani, says the idea of INEC taking over party primaries is not right, but also added the lack of internal democracy within parties is due to the avarice of the leadership of most of the parties.
Well, the issue of internal democracy is very key in democracy. People should be allowed to contest election, and the majority should always decide who becomes the candidate of that political party. But what we have in most of the political parties are an issue of imposition. They impose candidates, the rise of godfatherism and godson is the order of the day. But I think what actually brings that about is what goes on in governance. You know, the moment you win an election, you are unfettered. You have access to the treasury, and you do whatever you want to do with the treasury without proper accountability, without proper monitoring. And so people do all manner of things, even illegal, unconstitutional, in order to be in power.
But with the general elections a few weeks away, the tension, name-calling and disagreements would only get fiercer. Olajumoke to CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
And now the 2015 general elections will go down as the most controversial in Nigeria's history. Opinion leaders across the country have expressed divergent views, with most comments targeting the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atayo Jega. While some are calling for his sack, others believe the INEC helmsman should be allowed to finish the good work he started. At a press briefing to commemorate the forthcoming Eledomare Festival, the promoter, Gani Adams, seized the opportunity to air his opinion on national issues, particularly the much-awaited 2015 general elections. He called for the immediate sack of the Independent Electoral Commission chairman, Atayo Jega.
I, Otumba Gani Adams, is using this forum to call for immediate sack, removal, or retirement of Professor Atayo Jega, the chairman of INEC.
Gani Adams also questioned the creation of additional 30,000 polling units in the northern part of the country.
PVC, which is permanent voters card. It is embarrassing through Jega's own publication that almost 90% of voters in area of war and attrition in the northeast of Nigeria are be able to collect their PVC, despite the discarded and displaced by war, whereas in the southwest, especially Lagos, where there is peace and tranquility.
The People's Democratic Party in Rivers State has raised an alarm that the All Progressive Congress and the Rivers State government, in league with a police special unit in the state, are plotting to kill its leaders. The Rivers PDP says it had uncovered an alleged plot by the APC to use operatives of the C41 a special police unit established 8 years ago to combat the scourge of kidnapping in the state to frame up and assassinate its leaders. It therefore asked the Inspector General of Police, Sulaiman Abba, to ban the C41. Spokesman of PDP governorship campaign organization, Maoka, accused the APC and the Rivers State government of conspiring with the C41 police outfit to orchestrate political violence in the state and blame it on President Goodluck Jonathan. Oka says the state PDP had lost confidence in the security outfit because its conduct and operations were not under the control of the Rivers State Police Command. He accused the C41 unit of a failed attempt to kidnap and kill a member of the PDP in the state, identified as Tony Adoke Ayela, a PDP candidate for the State House of Assembly for the forthcoming elections, adding that Ayela was saved by security operatives attached to a member of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Evans BP. Reacting, the APC described the PDP's allegation as mendacious, saying that it was unthinkable for any sane mind to think of what the PDP had alleged against the Nigerian police. A statement by the public secretary of the APC in the state, Chris Finborn, said the allegation could only be possible between the PDP and any corrupt federal agency under the current administration of President Goodluck Jonathan. You're watching CoreTV News Hour. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more stories. Join us again.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
It's the CoreTV News Hour, broadcasting live from our Lagos studios. For more information on our news and other programs, like our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can as well follow at CoreTV News NG. And for live streaming, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, then news. And now the People's Democratic Party has accused the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, of committing war crimes during the Civil War. Spokesman for the party's presidential campaign team, Femi Fani-Kaode, said at a press conference in Umuahia, Abia State, that Buhari allegedly played some role in the massacre of unarmed civilians in Asaba. He argued that if it was true that the APC candidate was one of the soldiers that took part in the killings, then he should be tried for crimes against humanity. But the APC presidential campaign team has described Fani-Kaude's claim as felonious. It also dismissed that attack on Buhari's war record as a pointer to PDP's desperation. Its spokesman, Garba Shehu, wondered the PDP would take steps that are capable of questioning the nation's unity. The All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Organization has made a formal complaint against First Lady Patience Jonathan, who during a rally in Calabar, Cross River State last week, called on PDP supporters to stone anyone who came to the state asking for change. The party says a letter of complaint signed by River State Governor and Director General of the campaign team, Rotimi Amechi, will on Monday, March 9, be dispatched to the International Criminal Court, the Inspector General of Police, and the National Human Rights Commission. According to Governor Amechi, the president's wife had, through her comment, clearly called on PDP supporters to attack APC supporters chanting the party slogan of change. The party likened some of the inciting statements and conduct at campaign rallies to those of Simone Gbagbo, wife of the former president of Cote d'Ivoire, Laurent Gbagbo, prior to that country's 2010 election. Lagos lawyer Femi Falana has described the life pension being allegedly proposed for lawmakers in Lagos as an infringement on constitutional provisions. The senior advocate, while reacting to a recent media report that members of the Lagos State House of Assembly are deliberating on a bill proposing a life pension for the Speaker of the House and his deputy. Falana, in a statement on Sunday, said legislators being only part-time workers are not entitled to any form of pension under the Pension Reforms Act 2014. He described the move as insensitive and immoral at a time when workers are owed salaries and allowances. According to Falana, the position of the law is clear as to the non-entitlement of legislators to pension, since they are not civil servants and are only required by the Constitution to sit for not more than 181 days or 6 months in a year. He said only the President and governors are entitled to pension in line with Section 84 and 124 of the Constitution, adding that if the Lagos legislators did not drop the idea, he will not hesitate to challenge them in court. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has enjoined Nigerians not to accept the failure of the federal government to ensure stable power supply as an excuse that supply will continue to be a mirage in the country. Fashola emphasized this at the commissioning of Peninsula Integrated Power Project in Lekki. Our correspondent Abiola Luwale's report is presented from our studio.
According to experts, Lagos requires 10,000 megawatts of electricity daily, out of which about 1,000, which is a mere 10% of the required power, is currently available. The commissioning of the 5th Integrated Power Project, according to Fashola, attests to the stance of his administration that stable power supply is never a rocket science.
When they come to tell you lies about why you don't have power, you will tell them that there's power here. But that it is their responsibility to bring it into your homes. So if the owners of a co-disco sign an agreement with me today, your residences will have power within no longer than 6 to 8 months. It's possible. It's that simple. All the distribution apparatus is there. A little wiring, a little cabling, we will expand the power. It's 1 more or 2 more turbines.
He, however, called on Nigerians to reject the regular excuse of the federal government that stable power supply is impossible in the country.
It seems to me that the amount of power on the grid reduces with each power plant they claim to build. The darkness worsens after the president speaks on power or alleges that he has recommissioned an existing power plant. You know, look, he came to Lagos and said that he had just recommissioned Egbe power plant. Egbe power plant was built when I was in the university. Those who know his history will remember. So let nobody deceive you. He has 6 turbines generating at least 200 megawatts each. All the 6 were down. The private company that bought it refixed 1. That's what he came to commission.
According to the General Manager of Lagos State Electricity Board, Damilola Ogunbiyi, effective power supply is possible in the country if there is judicious use of available resources in the country. The IPP is expected to provide stable power supply to state facilities in Lekki, Ikoyi and its environs. The commissioning of the 1.2-kilometer Glover Road in Ikoyi by Fashola, however, brought the occasion to a climax.
Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has again cried out over the dwindling federal allocation to the state. While speaking in Ilorin, the state capital, the governor says the present situation of dwindling federal allocation has brought with it a negative impact on governance. He says the situation is anathema for the nation's democracy.
Negative pictures to people's minds with respect to preparedness and seriousness and sincerity to carry out these elections, but also ensure that the umpire does his job accordingly. Be it as it may, I think the sensitivity of the role of JEGA in today's electoral process is so crucial that we cannot handle his exit with levity, especially as it is seen that the current electoral process is drawing a lot of attention both locally and internationally. So it is very, very important that we ensure that the right things are done to ensure that this electoral process is allowed to follow its course as encapsulated in the new timetable. Both the umpire and the processes are allowed to go on accordingly.
Ahmed also expressed concern over further shifting the date of the general elections.
We're all aware that there is a huge dependence of the 3 tiers of government on the funds that are allocated centrally from federation allocation, i.e. the federal government, the state and local governments. And our budgets have been premised on expectations from the federation allocation. So anytime when you get a drop in the figures or what is accruable from the federation allocation will naturally affect our capacity to carry out services based on appropriations that we've put in place. In a nutshell, the dwindling federation allocation has seriously impacted negatively on our capacity to carry on good governance business.
And now, Niger's military has confirmed the launch of a ground and air offensive against the Boko Haram group in northeastern Nigeria by Chadian and Nigerian forces. The offensive comes after the African Union on Friday endorsed the creation of a regional force of up to 10,000 men to join the fight against the group, which on Saturday pledged allegiance to the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. The force, the idea for which was adopted at a UN summit in January, will be based in Chad's capital in N'Djamena, the Pan-African Bloc speaks, as Security Council said. It will be mandated to prevent the spread of Boko Haram activities and other terrorist groups and eradicate their presence. The body agreed in a meeting earlier in the week. Diplomats say Chad, Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger, and Benin Republic had committed to providing troops who could operate freely in a still undefined region. A privately owned radio station and Fani base in Difa report that more than 200 vehicles, including those equipped with machine guns as well as tanks, ambulances, water tankers and transport trucks, and a convoy moving towards the Nigerian border. And now the Bring Back Girls group has asked for what it called a mid-term report of the 6 weeks military operations against Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast. It also challenged the military authorities to publish the number of terrorists killed, number of those captured alive, and number of fallen troops and those injured. The group at its sit-out on Sunday in Abuja also demanded for names of all liberated towns and villages and local governments, as well as the communities that residents could return and those that are safe for habitation. The movement in the statement said it looked forward to the victory of the military and the multinational joint task force, noting that it is hopeful that the military will succeed in bringing back the Chibok schoolgirls. The group asked the federal government to respond to the perception that it may have mismanaged the support that several countries like the United Kingdom and the United States offered at the beginning of the search to rescue the Chibok girls in May 2014. The Bring Back Our Girls also challenged the British government and other countries which gave support to the FG to demonstrate a minimum standard of accountability by providing substantial update of the results they have accomplished. And now outside Nigeria, a Moscow court has charged 2 men in connection with the murder of Russian opposition activist Boris Nemtsov. It said one of the men, Zaro Dadayev, had admitted involvement in the shooting on a bridge near the Kremlin. He and the other accused, Anzor Gubashev, are of the Chechen origin. 3 other suspects in the case also appeared before the court on Sunday and have been remanded in custody. Nemtsov, a former deputy prime minister and veteran liberal politician, 55, was shot in the back 4 times as he was working with his girlfriend within sight of the Kremlin. He was buried in Moscow on Tuesday. Anzor Gubashev and Dadayev, who were both accused of organizing and carrying out the murder, were brought into court amid heavy security. Well, and that's the wrap on CoreTV News at this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalabe. I'll see you again.